Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the call today. Today, we're going to be talking about the Dream Careers internship program and answer some of those frequently asked questions that you guys may have just about the program in general. The internship placement process, a lot of questions that I answer from the parents. I've already documented a bunch of them, and we're just going to run through kind of a handful of those questions. And then also the hiring and recruitment timeline. When should you get started? When can you make the decision? And what are some of the benefits of committing at certain times throughout the year? So before I get started, I do just want to say that, overall internships, we've dedicated the last 20 years of our lives to running very structured programs in some of the most exciting cities all over the world. And the reason for that is we feel that internships are really critical in someone's life, in trying to figure out what it is that they want to pursue, and really connecting someone's passion to a career field. We feel they can have just a dramatic impact on their life. And so, I say that because we're really, really committed to the students overall. And then as it pertains to my own story, the reason I've been with the company now for over 13 years is as a participant back when I was in college, I saw firsthand the drastic impact that it could have on someone's life. So, my story a little bit into, I was a busy college student. I'm sure just like your sons or daughters is juggling multiple majors as a college athlete, taking local internships to try and figure out which career I wanted to go with. But I knew deep down that I always had kind of big city aspirations. I really wanted to go, out to New York City. I don't know, something was really drawing me out to the big city, mainly because I grew up in a town of about 1,000 people in Wisconsin. So even a step into more of a college town, that was a big step, but I knew that there was something else out there. And that's what kind of led me to Dream Careers. So I was trying to plan the whole kind of go out to New York City, experience on my own. I found Dream Careers, luckily. I had just a tremendous experience, not just with the internship, which was my initial plan is, go out there, get an internship, figure out if it's what I wanted to do with my life. But then there was so much more to the program that really made, a lasting impact. I was lucky to get an offer from the company I did my internship with. However, I turned that option down, to really help Dream Careers spread the message because of that profound impact it had. The people I met, the message about pursuing your passion, and just the impact it had on the students that I was also doing this program with. It really kind of lit a fire within. And, over the last 13 years, what keeps me going is, the people who I helped move into the dorms, to get their internship, to learn from the workshops that we put on. Now, 13 years later, to see them really succeeding in their career, finding careers that they're passionate about, that really keeps me going. And, that's my hope for each and every one of our participants is that they can have a similar experience to the one that I had. And that's what kind of keeps us going. So, I shared that story just because, that's kind of from my perspective, I'm here to help every one of the students, but I can remember making that decision to join. That was a tough one. Should I do it on my own? Should I use a structured program? How can I explain this to my family? They have a bunch of questions. Is it going to be safe to go to this big city? So I'm sure you have a million questions going through your mind. And I just want to be here to be a resource to help you make a decision that's going to be best for you in your life. And then, and hopefully that means you're going to be joining the Dream Careers program because I think it could have just a profound impact on, the way that you look at your career and the career decisions that you make. So what is Dream Careers? We're going to go through this really quickly because I'm sure you already have a pretty good context as to, what it is. I'm sure your sons or daughters have already told you, about the program. The easiest comparison would be, I kind of liken it to a study abroad program where there's, all of the logistics kind of wrapped around a central internship experience. And, in explaining that, one of the core components is, and the most important component of it is the internship placement. So we spend a lot of time, resources, conversations, with the students, helping them, customize their internship placement and getting them access to some of the, the most exclusive positions, in our 11 program cities that we run programs. There are also kind of the weekend events. So in addition to hard 40 hours a week, on the weekends, we take the groups on really structured activities. So you get to explore and kind of do some of the tourist activities on weekends. We also have a lot of inspirational kind of career workshops and, practical ways to help students, grow personally and professionally through a series of, bringing in industry professionals to come in, discuss their story, questions in various industries. And then we also have break-off kind of career workshops to teach students how to put those ideas into practice so that once they've completed their internship, whether they have to go back to college or whether they're ready to transition to, to the real world, they have some really good knowledge, connections, and they're really prepared to kind of start their career ahead. And then kind of the practical side of it all is, there's group housing, so they're not going to be alone or subletting. They're going to be in group housing with hundreds of other college students who are also going through this similar experience, which means that there's also going to be staff, live-in, on-site, and just safety and security at the front desk. But our staff is really there to, to orchestrate the whole entire summer, to answer every question they would have, and just be there to support them and guide them through this transitional, phase of their career development. Additionally, there's transportation to and from work, and there's academic credit because a lot of internships they do require students are getting academic credit for their experience. So overall, that's that's a program in a nutshell, and we offer it in 11 different cities. The most popular being New York, Los Angeles. Abroad there's London or Paris, but really you can't go wrong with any of our different locations. And our advisors are here to help you or help your sons or daughters really find the right city for their personality and for their career pursuits, because each of the cities has a personality of its own, and they also have certain industries that are recommended for really accelerating your career really, really quickly. Again, what's included, we just talked about this, but the internship, what's really important to understand is that we invest a lot of time and resources and energy to make sure that, the hard to secure internships, we have access to really help students, after going through our career preparation and kind of interview prep, and we go through resume revision to make it really customized. We really help them stand out from the thousands of other students who would also be submitting and kind of vying for those positions. And that's the, first and foremost, that's a really big benefit, is to, be able to have direct access to those hiring managers. But we spend a lot of time vetting internships to make sure that they're academically based, and not just running the coffee, or, they're really going to have an impact where they can find mentors and network and be able to apply what they've learned in school, at the internship, and, and take a lot away from the internship, so that in their interview process, when they're looking for that full-time job, they're going to have a huge portfolio of projects that they've already worked on. So that's, we spend a lot of time making sure that it is, the very best internship for that student at their, particular skill level. There are the logistics, which we talked about, the housing, the transportation, the on-site support. We've got career development. There's networking. Instantly, the students can tap into an alumni network, 17,000 plus in many, many cities across the world, who are now, they've gone through the process, and they're willing to help other Dream Careers participants as much as they can. Oh, and then lastly, I'll touch on it one more time, is, just the on-site support. This is peace of mind for, parents who are, supporting their sons or daughters in pursuing, this experience, in traveling across the world and traveling across the country, to make sure that, they're safe, they're secure. That's our kind of number one goal, is to make sure that they are safe. And we put a lot of policies and processes in place to make sure that that you guys are in the loop throughout the whole entire experience. So the internship placement process, it looks like there are a lot of steps here. So I'll just try and summarize it by saying this: is every student we work with, it's very customized. It's a very personalized placement process, because every student has different interests, different industries, but also, different interests in what type of work environment they want to be in, whether it's corporate or laid back, or, startup or large corporate, Fortune 100 company. So each of our advisors, they have hundreds of relationships in their industries, in their markets, who are going to be specially assigned to, students based on that criteria. And in addition to preparing the students for the interview process, which all happens over the phone, we also help them narrow down, which positions to pursue. We coordinate interviews for them, and the student is very involved in this process. So, it's up to them to earn an internship through this interview process from a company, and then ultimately comes up to, they're part of this process to determine, would I want to accept this position, or should I continue with this interview process? And, our guarantee is that, we're going to continue working with each and every one of the students until they're given an internship offer from a company that they approve of. Otherwise, the student is eligible for a full refund. So we stand behind that, because this is an internship program. We want a student pursuing an internship that they're really passionate about, and it meets their expectations. So that's our internship guarantee. That's the process really synthesized, but I'm happy to answer any questions about the specifics after this call. Again, that custom internship, placement process, we work with, large companies all the way down to fast-growing startups in, over 30 different industries. So, whether it's your first internship or your fourth internship, or you're transitioning into life after college, so you've graduated and now you're taking an internship to really get to know a city and really put what you've learned at school, to good use and transition that into a full-time job. We work with, lots and lots of companies. So, again, this is where your advisors can really be helpful when you're making the decision which city to choose. They can give you lots and lots of transparency on, which cities, which industries, which companies are available. But it is really personalized based on experience level, interests, and city as well. And so I put this slide up here too, just to show, again, there are lots and lots of industries, lots of companies we work with, but we spend a lot of time vetting each and every one of the companies to make sure that, it is the type of experience that a student's going to be interested in, that it lives up to the expectation that the hiring manager discusses with them during the interview process. And we also have a university on the back end that is making sure that it meets those requirements as an academic internship program. And lastly, as we start to kind of close down the call, I just want to say, frequently asked questions. I get this a lot, especially from parents. I know my parents were the same way when I was thinking about this is, whether you have the internship or not, the next step is always, the most challenging too, deciding should we go with a structured program where everything is built in, or, what are the pros and cons of structure versus going it alone? And this is a really personalized decision. I know there's a lot of value in just having a structured program, and we'll kind of go through some of the pros and cons. First and foremost, safety and security. I think when it comes to the decision coming down to join a structured program, there's a lot of safety that's built in and that we've created through selection, through having on-site staff, through making sure we partner up with our universities to enforce all the procedures and protocols versus the alternative, which I know kind of relating back, experience when I was debating go with a structured program versus doing it on my own. It was, looking up apartments on Craigslist or possibly crashing on a friend's couch for the entire summer. And I think just the difference of, you have your own space, it's safe, it's secure, it's centrally located. There's no concerns about the area that it's in. Everything is just kind of built in. There was a lot of peace of mind that I know my parents were able to have, as well as looking back, I was able to have by having this, secure program there for me, ready for me the second that I arrived and got off that plane. So as far as the internship quality and placement, some of the biggest questions that I get here are, first of all, is an internship a good investment if you are investing in all the logistics of going out to this location, to invest in your career, to take, in often cases, an unpaid internship? Like, what are some of the benefits? And, that's something I've seen over the years where, you can see some of the stats or the discussions that are happening where entry-level candidates who have prior internships are able to make more directly out of college because they have that experience. They know the industry better. They know themselves better. So that's kind of one of the first benefits that we always see. The second thing, and just to kind of talk to our internship placement process, because we've vetted our companies to the standards that we're vetting them, we know it is going to be a really hands-on experience. And we know that the companies that we're working with, they're using these opportunities to screen candidates for their full-time job offers. So, and this kind of touches on like, what would the return on investment be? We realize every student is doing an internship because they would ultimately love a full-time job, and they want to make this transition and have a job, whether they have to go back to school or whether they've already graduated. So last year alone, over 70% of all of our participants, they were either offered to come back and intern a second time if they were undergraduates, or they were offered a full-time opportunity to start. And that's just a huge testament to the students working hard at the internship, and the students overall just, finding something that they're passionate about and believing in the career development that we've been able to instill throughout the summer. So we understand, making a decision to send your son or daughter to a remote location in these major cities to do an internship, it's going to be different than if they take an internship in their local town. But we're here to say, here's a proven structured program that can help them make the transition, as easy as possible, and with really, really great results as far as return on investment and, the quality of the internships. And in closing, just talking about, I know, throughout the entire year we have, what is the best timing to get started with your recruitment for the following summer? And, each year I've been with the company and been to campuses and, talked with Career Center and, talked with employers directly. The timeline for identifying continues to move up and up and up, where, I would say 13 years ago when I was looking for internships, I was the student who was waiting a little bit longer. So it would be March or April, and now I'm thinking of internships. Now the pendulum has swung where, recruitment on campus begins as early as, October, a couple weeks into being back on. They're already attending, career fairs. They're thinking about their summer, evaluating what the best option for them will be. I'll say that we're starting now where, we've already got about 10% of all of our companies in the world. They're already interviewing candidates here in November. And then January 1st, that's when the majority of candidates will, they'll actively be in the process. So as far as getting started with Dream Careers, now would be the perfect time. It leaves about a month to work on the preparation phases of, revising resumes, working on interview preparation, identifying the companies that you'd want to pursue so that you're ready in this next wave of interviews that are bound to begin, as soon as the new year starts. So that's the quick summary of Dream Careers, some of those frequently asked questions, as well as the recruiting timeline. The next step, if you guys haven't completed the application, you can do so at summerinternships.com. Choose the program you want, the industry. An advisor will reach out to you. But again, for attending this meeting, please use the code ScottVIP. You'll bypass the $35 application fee. You'll expedite this admissions process. And if you do have any questions, you can reach out directly at 650-261-3130, or you can email me just at scott@dreamcareersinc.com. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your day.